Welcome, Toilet Wine listeners. Our following podcast had connection issues due to our lackadaisical disposition, due to the fact that the trash can is not here. So if you wouldn't mind bearing with us. Big Bear. Big Bear Chase. Big Bear Chase. Big Bear Chase me.
You'd like to think that like when that book was trying to get published, people would be like, "No, you can't let them do that." It's like, hey, no one can read. Just it'll be fine. Anyone that will
it's just for us. It's just for us. They can't read it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bear. It was just my own mortality chasing me, and also it was John Lacombe who fucked up the connection. Obviously, he always do it fine otherwise. But I apologize for the glitchiness and oddness. But I promise it's worth it for the jokes. And if it's not, then throw this podcast where it belongs. On your recommended and subscribe page.
So I said, "Hey, lady, I'll tell you when we got Adam's Family Values." But I'll stop ripping off John Mulaney bits, and let's get into this podcast. As you can see, the third man is not Dylan. That is because Dylan is off in Slovakia. He's hiking through the country, playing disc golf, and he's trying to set a new record. But he's cheating because, as he's told us for his cycling app, he put it on the handicapped wheelchair setting, so his record is just jumping up over people like crazy.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, but until they say anything against him, I gotta say, it has to hold. No one's complained yet, except for us, so I guess it's fine.
Well, I'll be filing a complaint with that app.
You better. I'm not going to.
Misuse of
But instead, we have
who was he playing in his disc golf game? I think it was Palestine.
Who's he playing?
Was it? Yeah. He was playing for
Was
Slovakia
against
Palestine. Is that what it was?
Yeah. It was the world's first ever team disc golf for the cause.
Yeah. They haven't done that yet? It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world.
Well, I mean, hey.
It's growing faster than High-Lie.
The beer?
The beer and the sport.
The beer, yeah. Well, I bet the sport's better than the beer. The beer it's just okay.
Not since when they used oranges and hit people on Jackass with the High-Lie rackets, or whatever you call them, scoops.
Yeah, the scoops.
Has High-Lie been so popular?
Yeah. Oh, I mean...
Whatever what you call those things.
Scoops. The professional beach thing. Professional beach toy. Thing. Yeah, it's just like the beach toys that you hold on to.
It's not a racket.
It is a racket. Being in the High-Lie game's quite a racket.
That's for what you're making. Welcome to Toilet Wine.
We have a repeat Toilet Wine guest, one John Lacombe.
2 toilets.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Actually, I believe first guest to be on Toilet Wine twice.
Wow.
Now, is that how you pronounce your last name? Lacombe? Like Assalamu Alaikum?
No, it is not.
Oh, no, I guess not this. No. Christian. Assalamu Alaikum.
And I think Dom knows that.
Yeah, I know how to say it. It's Lacombe. It's like some people are lay people.
Well, I'm glad he fucked it up on purpose because that made for that great Islamic prayer joke or a greeting. Speaking of Palestine, hey.
So you know,
it's Lacombe.
I don't know. Okay. That sounds fake.
Well, welcome back, man. The bumblebee's outside the window. He's trying to get back in. Son of a bitch, get out of here. I spared you once. It will not be twice.
You know what? He heard my story.
Fool me twice. You won't fool me again.
My savior is in there. I can reach him.
Yeah, well, don't come back.
All right. So, Joe, what are we talking about tonight on this most toilet of wines?
Tonight on this Toilet of Wines, we're talking about a fun subject, one that we can all relate to, and anyone out here can think of on their own. It's not a deep dive into the history of a cryptid. It's not our favorite dogs of cinema and real life. It's actually things that are older than you think they are. anyone can kind of relate this. It's like, oh, this is this old. I didn't know that the air fryer has been around since 1995. I thought it came out last year, but you're wrong. It came out sometime
Quite a time ago.
You know, you get the idea. Yes. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. All right,
Get into it?
let's get right into it. I'm going to go first. How about that?
Cash me outside. How about that?
All right.
good to me.
My first one that is surprisingly older than you would think it would be.
They better
And,
all be surprising, or I'm gonna flip
yeah.
my fucking lid.
Well, you know, Joe, kind of the whole point of the show is starting a sentence and not going where it's going to end. This one, even though it's something I don't particularly enjoy using, I don't know if using is the right word for it. It's definitely not. But
soap is that old?
Never would have thought it was this old, or even have thought about when it would start. When would I ever think? When should I start using that? And I'm not talking about soap. I'm talking about Schweppes sparkling water.
Schweppes. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I guess that you jump into ginger ale and all, because they're more famous for the ginger ale. Maybe not now. But
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, they had.
when
yeah,
I think about ginger ale, I think about.
They were. Yeah. Well, let's just get into the beef of it. Why don't we? Schweppes was the
Beef eaters.
very first carbonated drink to be sold to the public.
Fuck you. That's awesome. I didn't know
It was invented by a Swiss watchmaker and amateur
pronounced swish.
scientist, because you know every fucking millionaire is like.
So
I'm
it was a
also gonna be
pretentious
scientist.
Sweden that
No,
came up
because
with
this is
sparkling water.
before-
He had time.
Because this is
Hey, he
the
said
modern
Swiss, not Swedish. It's two different countries
Yes.
there, buddy.
Swiss.
Swiss. Because
One's Nordic and one is neutral.
one, I mean, fuck. He invented this drink in 1783. That's how old Schweppes is.
Whoa.
Wow.
That is America. It just became a country.
Yeah, very, very new. He invents this. He starts
Damn.
selling it to people. People like it so much that in only 7 years, he was no longer a watchmaker. He was just making carbonated beverages. And he had to move his factory from Switzerland to London to keep up with the demand for
Holy
this.
crap.
Wow.
And
The
around
original
that
lifting
same
drink.
time, you drank the fizzy lifty drink.
You lose, sir.
At that same time, he initiated his first flavor. Sparkling lemon.
Ginger.
And
Sparkling
one of the
lemon.
reasons why he made
That
the
was
lemon
the
not
first
only
flavor of sparkling.
Yep.
So he had to move to
water.
London on bubbly water alone? God damn,
Yep.
LaCroix makes so much sense now. Who
LaCroix.
gives a shit?
And
Until you came up
he
with the
made-
sparkling lemon, it wasn't even soda. It was more like
Yeah.
bubbly water. Yeah.
And he did. It wasn't just more like it. It was just bubbly water.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why he did the flavor was because after 7 years of making just nothing, it was like, well, let's add some flavor to it. But also, other companies were like, hey, we're going to make that too. And he was like, I bet you don't know how to do this. We're like, fuck, how do you figure out how to put lemons in it? It's fucking
And then he
water.
sucked his own dick. They're like, no,
does
but
he do
why
it?
does it have to do with like? Oh, what? Oh no, yeah. I guess you guys are right.
And,
Good luck trying
another-
to recreate the Schweppes legend.
last interesting little tidbit about just sparkling water in general. Before like the Industrial Revolution, when they didn't have ways to just like carbonate things, it had to be found naturally. Carbonated water can be found naturally in some places.
Really?
The two,
Fuck you. What?
the two
So did
biggest.
you have to run around and find it the whole time?
Well, no, he knew how to make it. This is like before. that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he didn't even invent it. He found someone
he
found
a way
it, and
to
he's
make
like,
it.
I can create that myself. Okay. So I always thought that people like added it and were like, hey, how about this? But
So are
they
there,
actually
like,
found it
le-
somewhere and like, let's recreate this.
There were two
Schweppes.
main spots where you would go to find the carbonated water before the people knew how to make it.
Florida.
First one was in a place called Niederselter, which became shortened to Seltzer.
What? You're blowing my ass.
Wow.
And the other one was from this place that was called Spa.
Spa.
Like-
Ooh, bubbly water.
Like a spa.
So these two places have gone on to incredible fame by now. Everyone knows what seltzers and spas are. These are white woman paradises back before people could differentiate.
So they were
Little
just
bubbly
lakes
cucumber
of
water.
La Croix?
pads.
Yeah, Lakes of La Croix.
Wow.
And trees are green, red roses too. Lakes of the world. And I think to myself.
Yeah, so that's the history of Schweppes
Wow.
being super fucking old.
Wow, that actually blew my tits off. I had no idea about any of that stuff at all.
Damn.
We can thank Coca-Cola can thank Seltzer and Spa for all that. Thank you very much.
Yes, for eventually buying the Schweppes brand.
Yeah, eventually they were like, "Hey."
By the way, Schweppes is way older than Coke.
yeah, by
impressive.
a lot.
And
But
Coke is
the
pretty
Coke
old.
figured out the real thing, where it's like, "We like your bubble water with flavors. Have you thought about putting drugs in it?" And they're like, "We haven't." And they're like, "Well, let's try that."
Have you tried making it brown for no reason other than you can?
I think the molasses
Is that
had something
true?
to do with it. No, I think they put molasses in it. It turned brown from that. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's
sure.
really how they got it sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore, though. High fructose corn syrup, subsidized by the United States government. Thank you very much.
That's where it's at.
Also, Coca-Cola ended the Cold War because Russia bought Coke, and they were like, we're American now. All right, next on the list of things that are older than you think you are, we'll keep
wait, hold
on
on.
the
Do you want-
American product line.
I have my number one real quick.
Let's hear it.
Things that are older than they seem.
But if it's what I was going to say,
This
I will
was-
kill
so
you.
I was-
But go ahead.
I was at
It probably
work,
won't
and
be. I wouldn't
asking
worry about it.
I was asking my coworker for some suggestions, and I think he misunderstood the question. Your mom?
Nice.
I think that's more of a compliment than an insult.
What did he say? Did you already
don't
say the
know.
answer? Because we didn't hear it.
Your mom.
Oh, he said your mom. Now that's rude. You know what I mean? But he did get you. He did get you good on that one.
But it's
For sure. Was he right? Is your mom older
it's
than
a
you think she is?
compliment.
Right.
Older
Because
than
she
you think?
looks-
Oh, that
she
is-
looks
that's
young.
right.
She looks young, but she's actually older. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So there's that.
Did you hit him with the classic "My mom's dead"? That's always a good comeback.
His mom.
That shuts him right
dead?
up. His mom's dead, and he still pulls that shit.
All right,
Risky
yes, that
maneuver.
wouldn't work.
Wow.
I think that's why you can get away with
Oh
it.
man. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
risky
I
at all.
guess he's
'cause you can
immune
never
to
get
it
the
now
mom
because his
dead.
mom's dead. Yeah.
Exactly.
Either
And
your
then
mom
his
has to
his
die or
mom
you have to have
might did it.
dads.
Yeah, his mom will never be older.
Oh yeah,
She'll
well, your
always
mom will
the
never
same
be
age
older.
forever.
Forever 27 when her and Kurt Cobain took a fucking dirt nap together the same weekend. Good luck. You know, I have it on good authority that life begins at 40, so I hope she made it that far at least.
That was for Christian. Christian
You
said
heard
he's gonna
me?
watch this.
Oh hell yeah!
Jesus
you
Christ.
better.
Are we on the same page here? John, are you hearing
will.
us like 10 minutes after we say something? What is going on? I'm trying to talk about your mug, buddy. Get a mug?
I'm speaking.
What's your mug say?
I'm reacting to what I'm hearing real time.
At speed, right?
That's what
So
I'm
you're
doing.
like about 10 seconds behind. We'll keep that in mind for the rest of the podcast. All right. That was hilarious. I wish we could have heard it regularly and not by doing a discovery method to figure out what Justin said, but we're good. We're talking. I have another thing on the list to keep on the brand names that you'd be like, that's that old. And mine is Oreos. Oreo cookies are older than you think. In fact, to draw the comparison, I always thought, obviously now they're, owned by Nabisco. Nabisco Corporation's been around for 100 years plus. Well, chip cookies, which I consider like the second oldest cookie behind the cookie. In my mind goes sugar cookie, chocolate chip, and everything else is afterwards. Not the case. and actually, it's older than sliced bread. Meaning it can't be Oreos because it's older than sliced bread. Oreos are from the 1800s. Buddy.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I would not have guessed that. And
So
you know
you
what's
say
even
older
older?
than
Just
sliced
kidding.
bread? Do they?
Yes.
You know, bread is made in one loaf, and then it gets cut up.
Yeah. Now let him
Yes.
let him dig his grave, Dom. Go
Yes.
ahead, John.
All right, sorry.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. I think it's lagging pretty bad.
Oh,
Something
he doesn't
about,
remember
hey,
what he was going to say.
Did they never slice bread before 18 blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean. Pre-sliced bread. They mean bread that came sliced. They're smart ass. You know how I know you're a smart ass? Takes one to know one there, Chief. Love you, buddy. But
is
yeah,
what I was gonna
older
say.
than sliced bread. I know. I you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you, man. Just look pretty. I'll fuck with
All
you.
right, all right.
But yeah, that's mine. Oreos. They're older than fucking anyone you've ever met, and they're like, you know, they're basically pre-World War One cookies at that point. That's pretty wild.
That is pretty crazy.
Now,
Wow, I didn't know they were mixing cookies and creams back then, if you know what I'm talking about.
hey now, that was before its time. What do they used to call black people who acted white before Oreos? Oh right, Uncle Tom's. I remember now.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. Older than you think it is.
that's
Uncle
the one.
Tom.
Uncle Tom. How old is
It actually
Cap?
came out before the book.
Uncle
That's why
Tom
they called
came
it
out
that.
before the book?
Yeah. They
Pretty
named the book
progressive.
after the concept of Uncle Tom, not after Uncle Tom's Cabin.
The concept. Well,
You're
you know, it's
forgetting
not
your
a
civil
concept?
history if you don't know what Uncle Tom's Cabin is, and you're showing your whiteness, both of you.
Oh, I know what it is. I never read it.
Are you kidding me? Neither have I. It's some dumb black bullshit. We get it. You're mad. Enough already.
Do I
Obviously
look like
joking.
I'm reading
Terrible.
it all, let alone reading that?
Yeah, I can't even read.
Yeah, I know.
You want me to read a book about how
me to keep
white
up
people
with
are awful? I know that. I
Historic
have
black
eyes.
literature.
Yeah.
You like to think
Yeah.
that like when that book was trying to get published, people would be like, "No, you can't let them do that." It's like, hey, no one can read. Just it'll be fine. Anyone that will
It's just for us.
learn
It's
anything
just for
from it
us. They
doesn't know how
can't
to do
read it.
Yeah.
You know, as fucked up as that is, you know people were saying that. They're like, they can't read anyway. Don't worry about it. Pieces of shit.
So my next surprisingly old thing is
Oh yeah, but before you go though, what was the
yeah.
thing you wanted to be when you grow up, Dom? Didn't it rhyme with rave owner? Did you tell me that once? When I grow up, I want to
grave
be a
loner?
wave owner. Yeah, don't you want to be a grave loner?
no, I wanted to run raves.
Oh, okay. So you actually were being okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
a real
you very
old
much.
soul. Like, since you were born, like the last year, raves were a popular culture thing. And don't tell me about
Did you
EDM.
think he was getting
That's
at
not
something
raves.
else, Joe?
I thought that he was mispronouncing sleep. To be completely candid, and I thought that was disgusting. And I told him
Wow.
stop doing it.
Yeah.
But I was
Well,
wrong.
I've been telling you for years that you were wrong, but I guess in front of another person, you'll finally admit it.
Well, I guess
So you were wrong.
finally I am wrong after 31 years of my life. And that happened sometime, right?
Wow. So you knew
Even a
before I was
perfect
born that I
atomic
was gonna
clock
be a
is
rave
wrong
owner?
once every millennia.
Talk about things that are older than you think.
Right, sounds like I'm doing stand-up over fucking Zoom. Every time I say something, it's like a beat, and then people will react or otherwise. Am I doing that to you guys? I feel like I'm reacting pretty quickly.
No, we're doing it on purpose just to bother
It's
you.
the connection. Oh, I hope it's on purpose.
On my
It feels like a
end,
connection
I
issue,
will
but-
say that your voice is lagging behind your video on my end.
Okay, yeah. Is that for you too, Dom?
Not all the time.
Okay, this is fucked up. This would be fun to edit.
Make it work.
because I'm going to go back to the ministry and allow them to perceive me as I am, a fuck up.
Nice. Anyways, Dom, do you have another thing that's
Hell yeah. Yes,
older
I
than
do.
you think it is?
My next older than you think it is thing is this wonderful thing that everyone knows and loves, especially on long car rides, the aux cord.
I saw that one.
That aux cord, which wasn't even called an aux
There's,
cord until like after the iPod came out. No one called it that. They called it the headphone jack.
Yeah, because it was never used for auxiliary. It was only used for headphones.
Yeah, the headphone jack.
But yes, the headphone jack, the auxiliary cord, was originally made in 1877.
Oh yeah, for what?
Telephone switchboards. It was the same exact design with the little nipple and then which is the ground, then a line per contact you need to plug in to connect phones together. And over time, they were like, we can make them smaller. Then they were like, we don't need these for phones anymore. We're smart now. And people were like, well, hold on now. We have the technology.
Now wait just a minute now.
Put it right to your ear. Plug it into your record player so you can be an angsty teen in the 50s while your parents are trying to sleep at 8 p.m.
I like it more when it came out in the 1800s where they plug in their headphones. Yankee Doodle went to town. This is my jam. Riding on a pony. This shit slaps. Dr. Feather in his satin. We should not have
Never
rice
thought
and
about
people.
listening to that in headphones.
Yeah.
Dude, people are jamming out. The aux cord is older than you think it is, man.
Well, their headphones were actually just, they would plug it into the record player, and just instead of one tube, there were two tubes, one to each ear, and it just played
Nice,
quietly.
it's like a head
But it was
phonograph.
right to-
My head phonograph.
Head
You carry
phonograph.
around. Don't touch me. You're gonna fuck up my disc, man.
These are Beats by Bach.
Yeah, your boy's back. He's back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back.
Boys are back in
town.
Bach in town. Bach in town. Oh,
Back in the saddle
man.
again. We could do like 20 minutes on that. I'm back. Diddle diddle diddle.
Ooh, jeez. Dude, I won't Bach down.
I won't back down. I'll stand my grounded aux cord.
Black.
Oh, man. Oh.
You say Bach
I don't
and
hold
black.
on now. I don't know about that one. We could get in trouble for Bach and Black.
What do you mean?
Dude, is that Bach and Blackface?
AC/DC?
No, we get it.
No, this is before AC or DC. This is just straight amps.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
We're missing a whole gold mine of using Bach instead of back in songs. It could last forever. Not since
Forever.
using glove instead of love, how I had a treasure trove of this. What are gloves?
Dude.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Dude, I'm bringing Sexy Bach.
Oh, see?
The Bach in
Sexy
town?
Bach.
Bachman Turner Overdrive. Oh, wait. It's already spelled that way.
Oh, I think that'll about end that run.
Whoops.
John, would you like to go next, or do you want me to go?
Sure. I got one that I'm sure both of you already have on your list. Condoms. Very old.
I did not.
I also
You're
didn't,
talking about
'cause, I'm a big
prophylactic?
Christian boy.
Or an actual condom.
What do you mean by prophylactic? What does that word mean?
Prophylactic is like basically birth control items.
Device.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, no, so,
they used to put lemons inside of vaginas to kill the sperm. Like, there's all different kinds of ways they used to do prophylactics. But you're talking about actual condoms, things you put on your dick so it catches.
No,
the
I mean
spleen.
like
forgive my
putting
French.
a thing on your dick. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one documented real.
This is disgusting, by
legitimate
the way. I know what
condom.
he's gonna say.
I'm not going to say pig intestine. Linen sheets.
I thought you were gonna say sheep
soaked
intestine.
in chemicals.
What sheets?
Linen.
Linen.
Oh, linen sheets.
cloth.
Oh, that's not so bad. I'd rather have chemical
Linen sheets
linen than have the clean it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how
gotta be
AIDS
worse,
started.
actually.
It wasn't someone fucked a monkey.
Is
They
that
beat
how
off
it
with
started?
pig intestines. Yeah. It wasn't even sex. It was masturbation. It's disgusting. And now we all have to pay for his price because he couldn't get laid and he was beaten off in it. I think it's gross. Having AIDS isn't
You just
gross.
have a
The guy who
swine
started it is
fetish or
gross.
something?
Well, I don't know. I'm glad
It's
you
called
brought
chubby
that second point
chasing.
up.
It's 2024, John. God damn. Don't say stuff like that. Swine fetish. Much. Don't mind if I.
Man, that puts a whole nother meaning on swine flu.
Yeah, that's what they call AIDS.
Yeah.
I got the swine flu. I was beating off into my prophylactic.
Which, I mean,
This
come
is
on, what
before
a
the
waste.
Catholic Church outlawed it, so it was totally fine at the time, but now we know better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They were invented by
So-
Gabriel, which I think is a very fitting name for the inventor of the condom.
Can you say it again? You broke up a little bit there.
Gabriel Fallopio.
Oh, like fallopian tubes? Fallopian.
And gay.
Something.
That's a lot.
And-
This sounds fake. That's how funny it
man.
is, actually. Gabro Fallopio. Yeah, okay. That's the guy who invented condoms? Okay, buddy.
They were also
How John
the
figured
way
this
that
out,
made
he was
them,
just
they were-
tripping in his room, staring at the ceiling, writing in his journal. Yes, Gabro Fallopio. It actually wasn't intestines. It was linens wrapped in dawn sheets. You guys have no idea. It was in the year 1. Whatever you say, John. Keep going. I'll stop interrupting you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, they were actually back in the day. They were very, very professional with their condoms. They were
Oh, yeah?
actually
Not like now.
Gabriel
Fast and loose.
Fallopio. When he would make his condoms, the customer would come to him, and he would fit them, and he would take measurements of their penis,
Like a
tailor.
shoe?
and he would create
tailor.
and he would create a custom condom.
Let me get your inseams. Get hard first. We can't measure it flaccid. You know that as well as I do.
Exactly. So I don't know what went into the fitting process, but probably a little more than just fitting. And then it would be
spitting.
held on with a yes, spitting. And then it would be held on with a ribbon.
That still
Ribbon
happens,
to tie
but
it
not for
off.
that reason. That has stayed with us.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
So just imagine
That must have
like
felt
the,
great for the wife,
King
huh?
of England
Just-
getting
just,
condom fitted.
Thinner on those 20 thread count sheets with a ribbon tied to it, just jamming it up your old hoo-ha there. That must have felt great for everyone
Yeah.
involved.
Well, imagine the guy. He's like, I don't want to fucking do this, but she's making me do it. All right. And I guess she's like, oh, yeah, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
I can work with this. And they go, oh, hold on. We're not done yet. Tick, tick, little bone. He goes,
Tie the ribbon on.
fuck.
They start taking the scissors to the edge of the ribbon, make it all curly.
Let me just
like
get
a
my
crescent.
linen.
Look how cute you look now. I hate
Look,
this.
it's
I'm
curly.
getting
It
soft.
It blends right in.
Let's go back to the sheep's
Oh,
horns.
man.
Better. It's hard no matter what.
The
color
sheep's-
it is.
If only we could go back to that plant from Rome that if women just ate enough of it, they just wouldn't get pregnant, and they ate all of it to extinction.
And funny enough,
yes.
Romans aren't extinct, so they fucked their way through it, just like how we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, condoms are only about 90% effective, so the only real effective way to not become pregnant
90?
statistically is firing squad. Yeah. It's the only effective
hell yeah.
treatment. Electric
Oh.
chair is only works 80% of the time.
Some more on condoms. Some more on condoms that I want to share.
More on condoms,
And-
also known as pulling
so-
out. I see myself out. Okay. I'm sorry, John. You're teeing me up, dude. This is fucking awesome.
No, please take
Moron
it.
condom. How did she get pregnant? Well, I was using my moron condom, and she was out my ass, and you know the rest.
Joe, I want. But so the very first rubber condom was invented in 1855, and they
Finally,
used those
rub
up
her, not
until
rub
around
him. It's about time. Female
That's what
pleasure
I'm
is
saying.
important. I agree with you. We all agree with that.
I think it was around 1920 that first latex condoms were introduced. And did you know that in World War I, the United States, I don't know why this was a statistic that I read, but the United States
Probably because you
in
looked
World
it
War I. Well, I didn't ask for this specific, but I found it. And World War I, the U.S. was the only country not to approve of condom use. They were very frowned upon. They weren't illegal, but they were like, a lot of places refused
I have
to
a
sell
guess
them.
why.
Very immoral.
Yeah, I have a guess why. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
so do
raping
I.
of the villagers that you've liberated, that's fine. But if you wear a condom, that's against God. Very Catholic take on that. Thanks a lot, America.
There was
That's so weird.
a public health campaign that was led by Surgeon Sage. And I found a
Surgeon
nice
Sage.
quote by
The
Surgeon...
first Surgeon
Surgeon
General who's a
Sage.
wizard as well.
Yeah.
Woo! Pull out.
I found a nice-
Fine.
And Surgeon Sage says,
It's dangerous to go alone. Take
Only
one
a-
of these.
hold on, I read this Surgeon Sage quote.
Okay, go ahead. I'll shut the fuck up.
I wrote it down because it's important.
All right.
I appreciate
Only
that
a
about
poor
you.
Before he has
boob.
time.
Only a poor boob pays his money, loses his watch, gets the sif, and brags that he had a...
What a poor
Surgeon
boob.
Sage.
They say that at the
Oh,
STD
my
clinic. Like, your test results will come
poor
back.
boob.
Are you a poor boob? Because, only a poor boob would have to go through all that. That's awesome.
You got
We
the
talked
sif?
about it in the past,
Oh,
but
man.
syphilis is one of the only diseases that came from the Americas to Europe. Most diseases came from Europe to the Americas, and that's one of the only ones that came from Americas to the Europe.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Because we had a lot more
shit.
intercontact with farm animals, which bred a lot of diseases that we have now, and that's why we have most of our diseases that affect us in that
Hell
way.
yeah.
Syphilis is an American disease.
One of America's greatest inventions.
Diseases.
Yes, quite.
They weren't real before America.
Much like disease, another great American invention.
Hey, I had Lyme
This is
disease,
the top
okay?
5 parasites. Huh? You have Lyme disease?
Oh, yeah.
I have it too. No judgment.
When I was like 13.
It never goes
I
away.
got it when I was 12.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Hey.
No,
Yeah.
it's still in your body now. You just have immunity towards it now, so it doesn't affect
Really?
you as much. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
In you, just hanging out,
Um,
twisting around. And it's the same shape as syphilis. It's a spiral cell. It looks all like a squiggling around you like macaroni salad. Fucking disgusting.
yeah. So
So I'm
next
like
time
this
you look
close to having syphilis.
Well, yes, but for
Lyme disease there, and Lyme disease looks at you, and you go, "What are you doing?" And Lyme disease is going to go, "Nothing, just hanging around."
who, me? Huh? Dom with the callback from should have talked about it sooner. Joe, drop the clip.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
I don't care what you say. Speedy Gonzalez is not a racist character, okay?
I've been with you the whole
Yeah,
time.
John.
Yeah.
Oh, should I turn on
What
you?
is just going on? I mean, it's who they don't even get us. Like, all right. Let's get back into what we were talking about. Joe, I think you're talking about something that's older than you think.
Yeah, Looney Tunes racism. It's older than you think. Donald Duck is in a Hitler cartoon in the year 1943. How do you explain that? I'm talking about other stuff than you think. Now, here's one that I think that actually most people know this one, but it blew my mind when I first learned it, and since then it's blown it less and less. The shine's really off of the chrome at that point. But here's the one. Lighters are older than matches by a lot. By
Yes,
like
they are.
100 years.
Yeah.
First hearing that, I'm like, no, obviously, in the modern day, if you have matches, you're like, oh, it's the janky-ass, shitty way, but then the lighters, that's the real way. Because you're thinking of the Bic lighter. But the lighter isn't just a plastic Bic lighter. It's a, flint, a liquid fuel source usually, or gas, but usually liquid. So, yeah, it's way older. Putting phosphorus on a piece of is newer of a concept, and only modern chemical distributors can even accomplish that. So it makes sense, but in my head, don't you think the lighters should be the new way because they're the much better way, even if they're not as sexy? I'll take it to the panel. Go ahead, boys.
Yeah, because lighters are super simple when you break it down. Like you were saying, obviously, like the modern ones, you can't just make those. Like World War II, they had lighters that well, we can't have open flames. Don't want to give a position away. It was a strip of like cloth, like kind of like the thing you put in like a tiki torch. And like a ring that went around it with a sparker. That's all it was. And it would just simmer. And you would light your thing, you'd blow it out, and it lasted forever because it was like 4 inches long and it never actually burnt. It just stayed hot.
It's a little wick drawing up the vapor and then just light it. Yeah, it makes it look into it. But in your head, like on the first glance, I would think, because the way we use lighters now, I wouldn't think of that. But yeah. I'd be wrong.
I mean, you lose a lighter, you're like, I think I got like 4 more here somewhere.
But have matches.
Back in the day, they would have like these big balls that they were like, all right, here we go. All right, light it.
They used to have table lighters that were like centerpieces for restaurants. It'd be like a $100 like crystal table lighter.
I've never done a since the first time I was on episode like 12. I've never not changed at least one thing on me in between breaks.
It's the most important contribution he's had in the pod.
Sometimes I change full outfits in between breaks.
Sometimes I do this all night with your son.
That's commitment.
I've started off wearing like 5 layers and every break take one thing off. I've done full costumes. I've done costumes with face paint. It's the second most important thing for the podcast for me. The first one is showing up,
being present.
The third thing is knowing the content, because sometimes I've had it like for genies where I took a nap after plowing, and I
for the municipality. It wasn't for leisure.
Yes. Woke up like 10 minutes before the episode started. I got in and I went, "Hey, I don't have anything." And they were like, "Okay." And we just made it work.
There you go.
Nice. I'm back. Sorry,
but I still changed my hat in between breaks on Genies.
As far as we're we're still running. The recording has not stopped leaving and then coming back.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So
I'll edit accordingly. Just let's keep going. That was mine. Lighter.
Did you finish yours? Lighter? That's what it was.
Yeah, I just turned it to you guys. I was like, that's all I got. It's just weird because I would have thought it'd be older. But
absolutely.
I mean, I thought it would be newer
than matches seem so simple.
So simple, but putting
but really, there's a lot of chemicals and things that go into that.
Yeah, it's not phosphorus and just put it on whatever you want. It's a little easier to find kerosene or whale oil or whatever you need to light that fire, baby. Light my dryer, even. I had enough time to change my name.
Oh.
Come on, light my dryer.
You have to check
the
lint trap, honey, or you might fucking start a fire. Call the HVAC man next week. Come on, baby, light my dryer. It can't be considered arson. I didn't mean to start the fire. That's about enough of that. Sorry about that. That's pretty good, though, on the fly like that. It was all about not...
You know, the dryer in my
Putting out your
apartment
dryer
was
lint?
actually smoking recently.
Oh, yeah? What are her
I don't-
measurements?
Boy. This is why we do it, folks.
Yep.
I'm not surprised your dryer's smoking.
Oh,
Everybody
Joe
else you
walked
live
away.
with is. That's right. I think it's Dom's turn now.
Yeah. My next thing that's older than you think is wristwatches. Older than you think. The very first one, 1571.
Holy crap, that is long.
Wow.
So now this is also
as a
in
gift to
Switzerland
Queen
because your whole
Elizabeth
whole
I.
list is just Swiss watches.
Yeah, was this Switzerland? It's
No,
gotta
it was
be
in
Switzerland.
It was in Spa. Okay, you got me. I don't know where Spa is.
What are you trying to say? You're trying to say spaghetti?
No, it was Spa. It was gifted to Queen Elizabeth, and it was described as an armed watch. I do not know if
This
there was
watch
like, if
is
it was a
armed and
James Bond
dangerous.
Style. I have a gun in here,
Yeah.
but
We know it has
armed
hands,
watch.
but now it's armed.
It,
Hey, keep your hands where I can
crazy
see
it is
them.
for how-
Okay, it's 7:45. Pulling over.
Oh, jeez. It is kind of crazy to think that we think that that's old because, I mean, what's so hard about being like, hey, see that watch we have? What if we didn't put it on a tiny metal chain and just put it on a piece of leather? That must be easier, right? But I think they were too worried about fashion back then.
Was it like baseball sticks on her wrist, or was it like a dainty little modern day, like little dime size watch? You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking, but even just like pocket watch that you could hold. Yeah, this is a little big, but no one thought like, oh, let's put leather on it. We can make it be this thing.
Right.
I don't know.
It's more of an innovation of
Then,
style
they
than
weren't made
of technology. Like they could have built a clock that size. They just never thought to put on your wrist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point there. The oldest surviving one that's still around is from 1806. That one was described as a bracelet watch. Definitely an accessory.
Closer to
putting it as a
what we
bracelet,
call it
I
now.
would say.
I'm gonna start calling it that.
Armed
I'm gonna
watch.
start calling it to like rich guys. He's like, hey, nice bracelet watch. That's cute. This is 30 grand. That's a cute bracelet. I think it's nice. I don't know. Why are you mad at me? It's a cute bracelet.
Are you wearing a Rolex? Got a nice bracelet watch?
I wanna.
Oh man! But then officers in the British Army switched to wristwatches in the early 1880s. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. But everyone
Yeah.
was using the pocket watches still, and they were like, "Know what? We're so rich and powerful. We haven't lost all of our colonies yet.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna wear wristwatches because they're fancier for some reason."
Well, it's
And,
easier to ride. Imagine riding a horse at full speed and pulling it out of your,
Yes, so
your
you can-
pocket
you
and
can
holding
check.
onto it. It's easier just to check the time while you're
Yeah.
riding.
Well, they also got popular in World War I for like those old versions of the tanks, so they could look at their watch without having to go like,
yeah, that
"Oh
makes
no, I'm
sense.
going right." It's and they got popularized during World War I too, because even in the trenches, they're like, "What? I want to unbutton my coat and pull a fucking pocket watch
Who's
out.
got the
It's 10
time?
degrees outside."
Who's got the time for that?
Hey!
Before people figured out to put it on the
wristwatches.
inside of your
I bet
wrist so it doesn't
Dylan's-
look like you're bored. You know that classic move people do with like professionals where they have
Yeah.
it on the inside, so you just look down, so you know, like this. When people are talking to you, you're like, excuse me, this is way too long. You just glance down and you go, oh no, just checking my pulse.
Yeah, you ever see the people that are like sitting like this and they just go,
Yeah, defeats the purpose of putting it
Well,
that
that
way.
was worse
If you're
than
gonna do
going
it like
like
that,
this.
then just put it on the top at that point. Look, he's doing the fucking.
I know some people. This is like an intimidating '80s boss thing. Is you wouldn't have it on the top of your wrist, you would have it on the bottom. You put it like on the side of your wrist. So as your hands are crossed,
You can still
or your
look.
hands are like kind of near your pocket, or folded, it's always pointing up to you. You can just glance down. You don't have to move your arms at all.
That's a cool move. Uncomfortable.
Because I know coworkers that describe bosses like that, and they're just like, yeah, no, you'd walk in, you'd see that he had the thing like that, and you're like, oh, all right, this guy doesn't mess around. It's like, that's so you fell for that shit?
You guys
It's
are
a
all gayer than you thought you were. How about that? Bunch of tough guys. You're afraid of the sideways watch, man. Wow, we got a lot of legs from that watch thing. Good job, Dom.
World's gone soft. Dude, Dylan is so upset that he didn't get to be in this watch segment. All he ever wants to talk about is watches. And we're
I
like,
know.
no,
We did it on a small segment of Toilet Wine. We did all the jokes.
You
We're
know
done.
how old
It's
they
over.
are.
Yeah. Because then he'd be like, hold on, let me go grab all my watches I got from Savers. They're all
I think
from the
this was the
40s.
right way to do it.
Because I know what I'm looking for.
2 hours on this shit worth of watches.
Yep.
Anyways, John, do you have any more you want to grace us?
What else do I have? Quick throwaway one. I don't know. I wrote the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's not a throwaway.
People,
That is a really
That's
good
a
one.
really good
That's a
one.
really good one.
I'm only jealous because I have a person on here too, and I didn't use it earlier. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah? Oh, okay, yeah, because they've
How old are they?
their first album. When do you think their first album was released? If you had to guess.
I think I know.
Yeah. Also, I do.
Okay,
but
well, you don't
I'm
get-
gonna say
Joe,
what I would have thought
Joe,
without
yes.
thinking about it really, and I think 91. Even though you think it would be like
91?
obviously, like 98, but I'm gonna say 91.
Oh, Joe, you're wrong.
So
Isn't it-
so Blood
isn't it
Sugar Sex Magic.
1986?
So Blood Sugar Sex Magic. They're, I think, as me
The album.
as they're my favorite band since high school. That is their
They're magnum
it's their
opus.
best album in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
That
it's
was
their.
that was released in 1991. That is what put them on the map.
Okay, so
That
that's
is
probably what
got
I was
anybody
guessing
to
then,
even
yeah.
recognize them as a band. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Their very first album they released in 1984. The
Damn,
first half
that
of the
is
80s.
wild.
Barely.
How old were they then? 14 years
Yeah.
old?
Well-
I didn't know they were that fucking old. Jesus Christ.
No, at that point they were like
How old was
mid-20s.
Ketis in Blood Sugar Sex Magic? Was he like fucking like 30 years old?
I
Dude,
think maybe,
Kiedis is like in his 60s.
Dang.
yeah, I'd say maybe like late 20s.
Damn, yeah, late 20. Also, Dom,
Yeah,
I know
he's
how to do a
pretty old.
podcast. If I guessed 1971, it would have been shit. Do you understand how a podcast works? I think it's 91. You're an idiot. It's not that. It's way before. Like, yeah, I know that. And then John says it, and I go, oh, and then you talk through it. Like, I don't fuck. God damn, Dom. You've been doing so many things by now, you still know how to do it.
But the thing is, nobody could name a single song off of their first 4 albums before Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
I know I couldn't. I think
Except maybe Dom.
can.
Dom might know one. What do you got, Dom?
Now you're
I like
nothing.
to
I'm
call
just saying, I'm smarter
heroin
than
You got another?
straight and it'll never do me wrong.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
The party will never
We're
end.
still
is
around
one
now.
of their
What
big
else are you gonna
hits.
say?
The party
One
will
of-
never
one
end.
of
and
them-
we'll be-
One of their first 4 albums from 1987 is called the Uplift Mofo Party Plan. So you're not very far off.
One of the earliest versions of Mofo I've ever heard. Mofo that long ago? This is news to me.
Yeah. The Uplift Mofo Party Plan.
Another thing older than I
87.
would think, the word Mofo. That's way older
The
than I
term
thought.
Mofo.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
there you
good.
go.
Term, yeah. This is a double, 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Now, how old's Flea?
It's a twofer.
Flea is, I think, like 62.
Good lord. The years start coming,
pretty
they
old,
don't stop
But
coming.
I've seen him.
Yeah, they're up there.
I saw them in 2016, and then I saw them again in 2022.
So
And
when you
both
were
times, I
10
gotta
and then
say,
when you
he
were
still moves
older
like
than
he's
10.
20 years old. Yeah. No, actually, I was 16 and 22 at the time.
Oh, because you were born in the year 2000. That makes it easier to track.
I was. It's very easy. When I turned like 85
son
and
of a
I'm
gun.
like starting to go like when I was starting to lose my faculties, I'll never forget how
Yeah.
old I was in any
Yeah.
year because it will always just be that
That's pretty
Until
cool.
you forget what year
plus
you were born.
2000.
So now the whole you're naming yourself 9/11 seems kind of fucked
But
up.
yeah, so
Because you were 1 year old then, and that seems kind of fucking disrespectful. I thought it was funny because, we
Hey, I
all
was
went
alive.
through it, never forget. You were 1 year old when 9/11 happened, and you have the gall to name yourself
you don't know
9/11
what I
as a
went
joke.
through.
Dude,
I know you went through
I
your
don't wanna
mom's
know.
vagina. About it.
dude, never
Hey, that was a
forget.
year prior, okay?
All right, that's pretty
13 months to be exact.
Yeah, Joe, we get it. You remember 9/11? You're old.
I was affected by it. I'm still affected by it. The fucking
Were you?
government's
What, was
listening to
school
us right
canceled
now.
that day?
Nope, they did the whole day. I didn't even find out what happened until I got out of school. They didn't tell us. They wouldn't tell us the whole day.
Really?
Our teacher left the room for like half an hour, came back distraught visibly, went on with his classroom. Because my mom was also a teacher. And I was like, ready to go home? She's like, yeah, let's just get in the car. And she puts the radio on. I'm like, put the music on. She was like, shut up. I'm like, what? I had no idea. She's listening to the second time. Like, why listen to music? She's like, you don't know. She didn't tell me until we got home, but I was like, oh, shit, there's what happened. They didn't
That's
tell
crazy.
us until way later. I've heard people where they stopped the whole school day, sent them told all that could happen, and we didn't learn that until we got home. It was crazy. I'm talking outside of New York.
wow.
Obviously, the whole state of New York went home immediately, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, are you sure they didn't tell the kids in New York what happened before they sent them
Oh
home?
no! People who lived in New York, they all went home immediately. Even the kids in Albany went home that day early. I'm sure. But in Massachusetts, there was like, hey, private school, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We'll tell them later.
Syracuse, I don't know. They get a pass.
Sears, Jacques. Anyway, so is it me now?
Jacques. Anyway, yes, it is you.
Me now. I got one for you, and I will get older, as we all will as we go along. My heavy hitter, I'm not using.
Oh, really?
And it rhymes with schmark, and no one used that because I'm using that one. Okay, it rhymes with schmark. But I'm going to use.
I
this
know
one.
what you're
Yeah, please let me have that one because I love to gush about that stuff. But I'm not using it yet. But I'm going to use now the electric car. The electric car.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
everyone knows
I
about
saw that.
Tesla or whatever, but I'm talking about the electric
But no
car.
one knows how old Tesla actually is either. The first Tesla Roadster was in like 2009.
Wow, there
Sorry,
you
continue.
go. Nope, that's a great interruption because it actually adds to my point, and I appreciate shit like that. Thank you. So the car, 1881. Oh, of course, yeah. Now it's like it can go 5 miles an hour. Not very, productive. It's by the French inventor Gustave Troche, and great job. But it was an actual competitor against the gas-powered car until the 1920s, where we started really heavy hammering the gas thing, and we started finding oil became more financially sustainable to use gas at that point than electricity, because electricity was harder to create at the time. Now, that would have been fine if they just let it compete toe-to-toe, and then one day maybe come back and make a game console again, if you catch my drift. But they buried electric cars so deep down that it took until the 2000s for them to ever come back. And that's because once you earn multiple billions of dollars, you have the ability to shit climate change. Is electric cars even possible? Without climate change, it would still be gas, baby gas. I don't care how much oil costs. Without climate change, I'm telling you, electric cars would not exist now. It just is the way it is.
Also, in, I believe it was 1998, when GM produced one of the first hybrids, like, since they tried doing electric again.
Yeah.
Like, before the Prius. It was this GM had the first one, then Honda had it. They've sold, like, let's just say 1,000 of them.
Yep.
Guess how many of them exist now? Like 2, because the oil companies went to people's doors that bought them,
them?
was like, hey, how much was that? $50,000? Here's 20. Can I have your car?
Yeah.
And they bought all the cars and they destroyed them.
That's what they did in the 20s, too. This is how you do it, baby. Corporate fucking bullying.
The very first Mercedes in 1886, fully electric. It had one motor per wheel.
Wow.
One motor per wheel. That's what they're talking about there, chachi. Anyways, I don't want to get into an hour-long conversation about how corporations destroy the world, and they do it willingly. But that's just the way it is. So, electric cars, old as...
No, we already talked about the World Fair.
Yeah, we did. We will again. Dom, you're up next there.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna stick with the electric part of this. We're gonna talk about this little company that is still to this day, it's not as big as it once was, but it's still bigger than I thought it was going to be. Also, it's not only as old than I thought it was going to be; it's still bigger than I thought it would be. Still, I'm talking
penis.
about a little tech company called Panasonic.
Panasonic. You know Panasonic was out of business already? They're not that
No,
bad.
I know they're not as
older.
No, I didn't say out of business.
I thought you said that they were older and also they're still around. And I was like, well, I know they're still around, but
no, I said, and they're bigger than I thought they still were. I don't think they're as big as they used to be.
Probably
they're not making TVs anymore.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
But they started in 1918.
What the hell?
making lamp sockets.
How about you have a bad name then? Panasonic lamp sockets? It should at least be phonograph. Head phonographs.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting the fucking term, yeah. Panasonic.
Panasonic
Panasonic meaning like everywhere sound. Panasonic. It should be like everything sound. Why would it be lamp?
Well, maybe that's why they started doing that. In the 1920s, they started making lamp sockets for motorcycles. And just as time went on, well, they had a big help in boosting making different products during World War II. Huge manufacturer for Japan back then.
Don't forget, war's only bad for people, not for war's great for companies.
Yes. And after that, they were like, what are you going to make now? And they started making TVs in 1961.
Posers,
and just
way late to
2
the
years
game.
later, in 1963, they were making 8 TVs a minute and were producing 21% of all of Japan's televisions.
Damn.
Wow.
Japanasonic.
And look at them now.
Good for them.
That was stupid.
It's toilet wine,
but
bitch.
they're still making $1.6 billion a year.
That's a lot of money.
That is definitely more than I was expecting for them to make still, because I haven't seen a Panasonic in a long time.
I wonder what their premium product is now.
wild.
What's their leading product now? I wonder. Because I know HP is much more into making printers than computers now. It's every company kind of shifts, based on whatever. Like makes video games and movies now instead of headphones. No, they still make headphones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I bought headphones. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying Sony TVs.
Nah.
Oh, this is an interesting development.
This just in.
In June of 2021, it was reported that Panasonic sold its entire stake in. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. They had a bunch of ownerships into Tesla, and they sold their entire stake in
all
Tesla
their Tesla stock
and made $3.6 billion.
That's when you do it.
Wow.
Before Tesla didn't even make that much money yet. And you sell your fake money before they make real money, that's when you do it. Panasonic, no wonder they're still around. Good job. Tesla hasn't been profitable.
Yeah. The more
and they sold $3.6 billion of stock of a company that doesn't make any profit. That's how you fucking do it. The economy is fucking imaginary. It's amazing.
Yeah. The more I look into this, their most modern stuff, it looks like they've done a lot of stock stuff over the past.
So now
5
there's a
years.
modern company where they don't make
in
anything. They just
2018
kind of buy imaginary shit like, Chase or Wells Fargo.
They make semiconductors for security cameras.
Well, that's you're gonna make a ton of money. Semiconductors are worth it.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
Also, they were the first company to debut the transparent TV. That was all the way back in 2016. Another thing older than you expect.
Cared. I forgot who cared.
No, I didn't say I cared. I'm just talking.
No, I'm
about
not
it.
saying you didn't. I'm not saying you cared either. I'm just saying,
Here, aren't
like,
you?
you guys remember when that transparent TV came out? Like the Game Boy Advance? Someone fucking cared. I love that shit.
Xbox 720.
Bring 3D back for the 10th time.
Yeah.
See what happens then.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
It'll come.
Panasonic.
It'll come.
Yeah. All right, now
I
you
don't think
come.
they've done 3D phones yet. Might be next. All right.
All right, Johnny boy, you want to do one more?
Speaking of that, John, you got another one?
Yeah. So I have it's a little bit of 2 in 1, but for the one, I got guns. Guns have been around for much longer than I think people realize. Since 10th century China, which is kind of crazy because I think whenever anybody thinks of the 10th century, they never imagine.
I had that
anybody
on my
using any
list.
kind of
Black
firearm.
powder created in the year 800. The thing is, put it into
No one
There
ever
you go.
when they talk about the second. No one ever talks about the Second Amendment in 10th century.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
you know the Chinese
yeah,
Bill
the
of Rights doesn't
10th
exist.
century.
Anymore, maybe.
We'll see.
10 Cent is actually the name of one of China's
But yeah,
biggest companies,
10th
by the way.
century. Is it actually?
Yeah, 10 Cent. Yeah, it's like one of their biggest companies ever.
Oh shoot.
It's their like Verizon or whatever. I think.
Yeah, I bet it
Yeah,
doesn't mean the same thing as it means to us.
No, it does not. It's just a weird thing for me to
And-
interrupt John for no reason. Sorry about that. Go, John.
No, it probably feels like you're interrupting me on your end because I keep coming in, and then yeah, just
Maybe,
the audio.
but I'm pretty sure I'm still
But,
interrupting you.
at the time.
See?
At the same time.
See, even though I saw you react later, I still figured out that I was interrupting you this time.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Flamethrowers are actually just about as old as guns are.
No shit.
10th century China, flamethrowers were pretty much at the same time created as the, what we call it a quote-unquote gun. It was black powder ignited to shoot shrapnel. Doesn't look
As a
like what
cannon.
we have now or even
Hand
what we had
cannon.
in the 17th century.
Yeah.
Yeah, hand cannon kind of thing. But they
Both
had
made for hunting, though,
handheld
right?
flamethrowers. What was that?
They're both made for hunting purposes, right? They weren't made for killing people, were they?
Absolutely,
Yes.
it was made for hunting.
Yeah. So, people twisted it, but the original idea was just, innocuous, to feed your family. Nothing with mass death or anything like that. The flamethrower. I hunt. I have a flamethrower.
How else would think about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? He needed that flamethrower for home defense against the hippies.
Exactly.
He did.
How else would he have handled that?
Maybe a gun.
That is actually the main use for the guns and flamethrowers was to protect the castles. They would have people up out on the the outer walls, and they would shoot flames down at the people trying to,
Dude, that's terrifying.
get into the castles.
Yeah.
And they were doing that in the 10th century, which is just crazy to think about.
They almost don't even need to shoot anything. They just need flaming liquid that doesn't just burn up. They just need a flaming sludge
Spray
just
it.
pour on them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Flaming
look, they're
sludge
throwing
is way
fire.
older than that. If you want to get into flaming sludge, Greek fire is from prehistory. It's fucking old as shit. But the flamethrowers,
Yeah.
Throwing flame.
damn, that is older than you would think.
Pretty much.
I love how we haven't done much different about those two things.
That's
We've gotten
crazy.
better at it, but it's the same idea. Make an explosion, send metal into someone's body until they die,
Yeah.
or make fire go far away until they die. It's the same basic concept. We just get better and
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Ever since the
End
sword,
result
there's
is
never been a
always the
better
same.
way to kill somebody. We talked about this in the past. The way to kill somebody has been the same forever. After the rocks stopped, Bronze Age started, you go, oh, put this metal inside someone's body until they stop breathing and they die. And we've just been trying to do that ever since. A fucking spear,
And
a bow,
we're
a gun.
getting
It's
farther
just,
and farther away.
yeah. You go farther away. Put this metal through your body till you die in better ways. That's like your best version of killing people. It has been forever. It's as old as time.
Yeah. Because the best way to kill someone has always been from as far away from them as possible.
Yeah, and
So it
and
minimizes
penetrate
the risk
their
of you getting
organs
killed
until they
also.
can't move anymore. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're used to that if you do it other ways, that's illegal now. Listen,
is how
ways
it's
to
done.
do people not legal. Put the piece of metal through their fucking body far away, still legal. We that one's old enough. We count that as legal. If they had chemical warfare in Greece, or old enough, we'd be fine with it. But the metal through your organs, we're okay with that, even if it is a fucking tomahawk 40
Dude, 'cause
fucking
that-
miles away. We don't care. It's still technically metal
If
through
they-
your body.
if they
It's
made
fine.
it- If they made it illegal to do the metal to the body thing, that's like the same way as being like, all right, I want you guys to start a band, write me a brand new song, but no notes.
No notes.
It's all we
No
know.
notes.
There's no other way to do it as far as we know. Metal is what does it.
There's other ways to do it. You ever think about psychological damage? You just drop leaflets to say that your mom never loved you and no one ever has, and they also kill themselves. That's warfare. Psychological
Your mom will never
warfare.
get
It's a
older?
psyop. You know, it's older than you think it is. Psyops.
Psyop?
Ever heard of religion? It's not just from 2020. It's been going on for some time now. Think, and you do
And
what
this
I
time, it's
want.
perfect.
Really?
It's older than history. Psyops. Older than
Now
you
you
think it
pray.
is. All right, now you go. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then let's take our last break here.
Last break, yeah.
And speaking of
What do you got?
speaking of things that are still around now, and they're bigger than you would have thought, and older. Oh my god!
Ooh.
I want to talk to you about a playing card company that was created in the year 1889. Woohoo! And now they're still around, and they make wireless LED screen gloriousness. That's also the company named as Nintendo. It is or international
Yep.
until the boom of home consoles those games in the early 80s. I always just assumed that Nintendo started itself up as like some kind of tech company, like much like Sony did, where they pivoted to video games, or Microsoft pivoted to video games. No. Nintendo was into games the whole time. They pivoted to electronic games, which is a whole other beast, and that is Nintendo. Still one of the biggest companies in video gaming, and they started out as a playing card company back before Babe Ruth hit his last big at bat, baby. That's how long ago.
Baby!
Before the turn of his second Lacombe, who was born in the year 1900, and he always knew how old he was until the year 2000.
I'll never forget.
Yeah. And it is
can't.
crazy, too, how Nintendo, like...
How about Mark
Yeah.
changing and you changing
big
with it?
Ninten-
Fucking Nintendo's like, no more board games? How about the most popular video games ever? What do you think? Like, imagine if the company who
Go,
made Monopoly...
Hey, you know how...
Imagine, like, Milton Bradley had the best video game console in the world right now. That's basically what it is. Milton Bradley, Xbox. It'd be insane. Nintendo.
And they didn't just get on top once. They were like, look at us. We have the original Nintendo. They're like, yeah. It's like, hey, look at this. We got the N64. And everyone's like, that's cool and all, but, like, we also have the PlayStation.
We'll
You're
allow
not
it.
the only one anymore. And then now it's competition.
Well, no,
And then,
don't get me started with
they're
that.
like,
There was
"Please."
already
Like, all right, yeah.
Sega,
Hey, can I just finish what I'm trying to fucking say?
Neo Geo. I mean, well, finish what you're saying, but don't be wrong about it. I know there was like 8 consoles.
I'm summing it. I'm trying not to go into this whole deep thing about video games. I'm just trying to get to the point where they go,
John,
they just go,
shut
hey,
the
here's
hell
the
up.
Wii U.
What are you, dog? Quit burping. I'm trying to argue about stupid shit right now. Oh, we're having fun.
I can't help it. I can't stop. It's just Evan Williams, man.
Oh yeah, it's so bubbly.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
Schweppes.
Dude, it's Schweppes mixed with
The Nintendo was like, "Hey, here's the Wii U," and we're like, nope, you're done, you're over. And they went, "Well, hold on now. Here's a Nintendo Switch." Like, oh, sold out before you can buy it. What? And
Hold my
it's like,
Joy-Con.
Nintendo Switch is huge. More people, I swear, Nintendo is like right up there with like Xbox and PlayStation now. Maybe even past. I feel like Xbox might not be as
If you
popular.
like
as some
iterations
the
of
Nintendo
consoles, Nintendo has
Yeah.
outsold other consoles every time except for twice. And if you add, it sold every console ever made. The Wii and the Game Boy are the highest selling consoles of all time, not even close. PlayStation 2 is kind of up there, but like it's just out of control because Nintendo, the most well-established, everyone likes it gaming. That's all you need. The Game Boy wasn't as good as the fucking Sega Game Gear, but it didn't take 8 batteries and your mom's fucking stepdad or her boyfriend to plug it in for you. And
Your mom's stepdad.
your mom's stepdad's over here trying to teach you how to play Atari fucking Jaguar. It ain't working for you. The Game Boy, you plug it in, your grandma plays Game Boy.
Well,
it's easy. Nintendo knows how to make it accessible for everybody.
I mean, mine doesn't, but that's all right.
It's almost like they used to be a playing.
Yeah,
card
they really
company.
did corner the market. They figured out They figured out portable, and they're like, we're never looking back until they did with like a lot of their stuff.
And then they did again.
You know,
but they never
always kept
ever
that,
be
you know, I mean,
chasing. Always be
How long
leading.
did the PSP last? Not that long. Xbox never made a mobile thing.
No.
Nintendo, they fucking own that shit.
No. Nintendo.
Sony did PSP.
He just said that.
Yeah, but it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
How about the Nokia
And then they tried bringing
N-Gage
it back.
that was
They
about
wouldn't even
20
look.
years early for mobile gaming, and that thing bombed? It had Tony Hawk Pro Skater on that thing. It was a cell phone with Tony Hawk Pro Skater on it when I was like 10 years old. Shit
Yeah.
was wild. That was probably. All right, we're taking us to the commercial break here. Everyone turn on your Nintendo Switch and watch us on YouTube.
YouTube.
After the time, they'll probably pull this off
What?
because they're litigious as hell.
Come on, Mega Man. Use your buster to hit Dr. Wily right in his face. I can't believe the hardship you've gone through, but it's for a good cause. This is frustrating, yet rewarding. I should buy this for my kids and my whole family. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I was just in the middle of Mega Man, Dr. Wily's castle, really giving it to the guy. And I like to say that us at Toilet Wine, we really appreciate Nintendo's products and their marketing and their mission statement to have the most fun for the most people and make the most money by suing them for sharing our products on the internet. We think it's very cool at Toilet Wine. We think that if you're going to use people's products to advertise, review, or relate them to media as products of fair use, you should be sued into oblivion. They're kind of like the Metallica to our Napster. So, we're sorry in perpetuity, Nintendo. Didn't mean it. All we wanted to say is that your stuff is cool. And, if you want to sell playing cards again, we're totally down. Here at Toilet Wine, we are whatever Nintendo wants us to be. Unless you take down our monetization process. In which case, we are going to be beholden to you for life. Let's go! Sue me!
Rub it in for you a little bit. I would like to see you come try while I keep drinking my Heady Toppers that I still have, and I still have 2 more. And the next 2 podcasts, you're still going to see them. That's what I'm drinking them out. And,
Oh, look at me.
King of the Castle, King of the Castle. Oh.
Okay, so that didn't
Yeah,
start
life,
my
yeah.
life yet.
You know, Joe, I think
Or
you
to
have
John's
another little titty dilly wink old thing to tell us about.
I sure do. Things that are older than you think they are. My next pick.
Good job, John. You're my hero.
This is why you gotta watch it. You can't just listen. You gotta see it all. Consider me wrong. You can listen to it. My next thing on the list, Ralph Macchio. He's older than you think he is.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wait, hold on. Can I guess his age real quick?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Might have spoiled it a little bit there.
Wait. Did you already say it? I didn't catch that.
Nope. Oh, guess how old Ralph Macchio is.
All right. I think Ralph
And do
Macchio
a podcast.
is... I think he's 58 years old.
Good guess. Very good guess. Dom, would you like to guess as well, or did you already look it up?
I was going to say like 32.
Shut the
I
fuck up.
don't want to blow it out of proportion. I want to be surprised when he's older.
No, that's fair. I've been foisted by my own petard. I told him to do it. Don't put anybody out there. I didn't say blood sugar.
What? He's over 32? Oh!
Red Hot Chili Peppers' first album was 2012, right? Am I wrong about that? No, you got to be
No,
close.
I think you're pretty spot on.
Dude, wasn't Dark Necessities their first
yeah.
hit single?
I'm pretty sure Dark Necessities was their big hit. Put him on the map.
Yeah.
No, so he is 60. He is 62 years old, which is wild to me because he doesn't look like it. If you see a 62-year-old man that you know, yeah, exactly. Because he was 22 years old when he made Karate Kid, and he was supposed to be playing a 16-year-old child, and he looks 14.
Wow, I thought he was a teen actor.
Yeah, he was like his age because he was like all the other teenagers looked like teenagers, and he looked like a little boy, but he was actually 22 at the time, which means he was older than everyone in the movie, even though he looked like he was like 13 or 14 in the movie. So
That's
hit by alcohol
crazy.
legally. Yeah,
Wow.
older than you think he is. Macchio, love him
So-
by the way. Rob Macchio, one of my heroes.
I will never see. So I'm glad. So
I'll say it. I don't care that he's Italian.
Michael J.
I
Fox,
still like him.
Michael J. Fox does not look like a high schooler when he's in Back to the Future. He's the same
No, he does
age
not.
as Ralph Macchio. Macchio.
No.
Ralph Macchio definitely could have been 15 in that movie. But he was. That's.
I
that's
always
a
thought he
little
was
unfortunate
younger
for
and he
him.
was playing older, but he's playing much younger.
much younger. He's like.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, you think like Kevin Bacon of Footloose, not a teenager.
Right, right, and it shows because of the veins and because of those traps. That's what it shows is the traps.
No 17-year-old muscles like that.
No, it just ain't natural. But that's mine, Ralph Macchio.
Wow, that's a good one. That was
want to pick
that's
your
a
next
good one.
one?
Choose
Would
a
not
person
expect
one
that.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last one. This is fits in a little bit with the last toilet wine that came out. Who knows when it's going to come out? Where we were talking about the Guinness Book of World Records. We're going to talk about how
Well, it
old...
would have come out by now, so don't worry about that.
Yes, it's out by now, but I don't know how many weeks are in between. Is what I was trying to say in a poor
Who
way.
knows? Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But definitely this one on first.
This,
I don't know how long John has to wait
particular-
for it. Sorry, John.
This particular literary piece is similar, but also older than you think. National Geographic, first issue,
1888.
1888.
He had it nailed. 1 year before
Yeah.
Nintendo. My
1 year
God.
before Nintendo. It started when they formed the National Geographic
It's only a matter of time before they
Society.
both get bought by Disney.
Well, National Geographic already is not like a privately owned thing. Like it's more than one. There's more than one company in there already.
But doesn't Disney
the-
own them though?
I think Disney
Oh.
does own
They're
National
on
Yeah,
Disney
Geographic.
yeah,
Plus.
because they're on
They
Disney Plus.
do.
It's Disney, Hulu, ESPN, Nat Geo.
That's what I said.
That's their streaming thing.
Okay.
So the National Geographic Society was formed in January of 1888, and then their first issue was released in September of 1888. It was initially
What was the big
just
issue?
all words. It was a big issue. It was originally just all words. It was just like a scholar journal that they would send out to
Damn, they
the
figured out that one
165 charter
fast.
members.
Nat Geo is all pictures now.
Yeah, the first
Like,
time they had like multiple.
read about nature. I want to see. Yeah.
It was in 1905. The January issue had multiple pages of just pictures.
Yeah.
By 1908, more than half of it was pictures. They figured this shit out real
They got
fast.
fast. That's good. They got in early enough on that one.
And in 2010, they sold 40 million issues just that one year. Compared to when they were like, hello, these 165 people we all agree can have this information. Here's a book of words about stuff. You want to know what it's like in Trinidad? Read a fucking book. Here's the book.
Yeah, very wild. Nat Geo wild.
Nat Geo Kids started in the 70s because, you know, kids had to be cool back then. And KEWL, smoking cool.
Kids had to be smoking cools back then. Probably were.
Dude, there used to be this guy, one year, this guy came camping with us. And he was like, yeah, I don't really smoke cigarettes. I just bought them for the week while we're up here. And I was like, you're crazy. He's like 55 probably.
That sounds like me.
He chose to buy menthol
My
cools.
IQ.
And he was like, oh yeah, these are perfect because like they're so bad that by the time I'm done with the pack, I'm not going to want more. I'm like, you're
Then why
a
even
little
buy
crazy.
him?
It's like, I understand why you're doing it that way, but like, he ran out of them so fast, he was bumming Newports off people the rest of the week.
Of course he was. He's lying to himself.
Dude, that's
Insane.
that sounds
I'm
exactly
alcoholic, so
like
I'm just
me.
gonna buy Mr. Boston vodka because it's $12. So then I won't want to drink anymore. Like, yeah, the active ingredient's still there. Big shoes.
Yep,
Tastes
you're
bad,
gonna
but
get
it
it
have
done.
nicotine in it. They still have nicotine, for Christ's sake, the most addictive chemical in the world. Yeah, they fucking.
Other
work.
than love.
I smoked cools at one point. Now look at me. I'm sucking on the robot's
Yeah.
dick like the rest of them.
You were trying to
Oh
be
yeah,
cool.
same here.
Yeah.
Oh, mostly when I couldn't get Newports like a gentleman. But yes, very similar.
Yeah.
That's my Nat Geo, Geo Metro, Geo Prism.
All right, so well done. So for the emphasis of time, I'll only do two more because we're wrapping it up here.
I do have one.
But I'll say the one. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm guessing you said more.
I have
He's got
one
one
more.
more.
All right. What do we got?
Did you know? So, Staying Alive. We all love that song, right?
I was not, no joke, whistling it today at work.
There you go.
By Dom, and it has
Staying
the
Alive.
8-bit version of Staying Alive that I was in my head for like 2 hours today.
Yep.
Staying Alive. We got a.
Hey Dom, did you get why I picked that song?
Yeah,
Because
because-
I'm on the island. No, sorry.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
You get it? You get the joke?
Nope,
that
didn't hear any of
I
that.
Staying
I
Alive.
think about it before I pick the song. Okay.
Go, John.
Dude, this lag. Okay. More Than a Woman. How Deep Is Your Love? All of these hits. When did they come out?
I haven't the
Is
darndest.
it all the same album?
I don't even know when Staying Alive came out.
See, now,
Those hits.
again,
all
I would
came
say... Oh. No, just
In-
so drastic. It's like a 7-second lag at this point. I'll just shut the fucking
Yep.
off. Go ahead.
In
I stopped talking like an hour ago.
1975. 1975.
What? I would have guessed
Now,
74.
If you
It was still on top
had
of the
to
world at the time, right?
if you
It was at the tail end of it.
if you had to guess when the Bee Gees formed as a group, what year would you guess?
Okay, here he's dropping the bombshell. Okay. 68.
I was gonna say
68.
69.
Okay. 69.
Were they
Okay.
old? I guess they were kind of old.
Fi-
But they look like
Final
70s
answers?
old. They were like 25 years old. They were 40. You seen the Staying Alive music video? They look like they're all in their mid 40s, and they're probably like 29 at the time. They look like a bunch of old dudes.
Yeah.
One guy's got long hair. They're wearing leather jackets. They're dancing. It looks like a bunch of old dads, and they're probably like in their
awful.
mid 20s. Yeah.
Are those answers locked in?
Or I would say awful.
Yes.
68. I'll lock it in.
Yeah. The Bee Gees were formed in 1954.
Wow. 10?
1954.
They can't be that old.
How old is
Holy
Anthony
No,
Kiedis?
they are that old.
Damn. So how
There you go. That's what I got.
How old were they when the band started? You must tell me now.
Well, I'm gonna have to Google
Jackson,
that.
if he's running the Bee Gees band.
Work on it.
Well,
You just don't know.
Van Freed, just keep
Nah,
trying.
nah.
20
Yeah, nah.
years of harmonies and falsetto, and eventually disco will hit, and then you'll eventually blow up, you know?
You'll figure it out. John, you sure you want to Google it? You're gonna find out if you're off by 4 years.
About when they were started?
Not important.
Yeah.
No,
That's not
it was
important. What's important
19,
is how young were they?
1958. That's the first sentence on their Wikipedia
You
page.
said 54.
Oh, did I say 54?
You did.
Oh, that was a misspeak. All right, 1958.
All right.
Still.
Yes. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Still. 50.
How old was Barry? When
Let's see. Barry Gibb was born in 1946, so he was
He
12.
was 22.
Okay,
Or
so
no,
yeah, so he
oh,
was
wait,
a child.
what?
It was a child.
12.
That's like
Oh,
Michael
shit.
Jackson. He first started his solo in 1970.
Yeah, that's like
so
if the Jackson 5 never broke up.
yeah, the Jackson kept going. The Bee Gees.
I swear, I'm
would
telling
not
the
have
truth.
guessed that.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Disco is life.
It's the
Disco
first sentence
is-
on the Wikipedia.
Dead.
Disco is not. Disco is life. And we're back. It's Toilet Wine. It's the end of Toilet Wine. We do it the same way every time. We always raise our glasses and toast to something. But this time we're not doing it the same way as every time, because this time Joe is going to lead us with his toast for ending the episode.
Follow me, no ritual. I would say in a toast for things that are older than you think. Dom, am I choppy as hell?
You're golden
or
right
can I
now.
keep
You're golden
doing
right
this?
now.
This is working so far. Love it. Things that are older than you think. I'm going to pose for this toast the observable universe. It's 13.7 billion years old. Fuckers know how long
That's
that is?
impossibly
Humans
long.
have been around since 300,000 years. Dinosaurs existed 64 million years ago. Add 40.
Oh,
John knows what I'm talking about. It becomes inconceivable the amount of time the universe has existed and shall exist in the future. So it cheers out to not only how old things are, you don't realize it, but how old things can be in the future. Here's to another 13.7 billion years flying around this fucking life we
All
call
right,
the
to
universe.
Mr. Universe.
To all of you.
To Mr.
And with that,
That's all I got.
only last thing to say is... actually, there's two last things to say. First off is big thanks to Mr. John Lacombe, 9/11, for coming back on the Toilet Wine, being our first
Assalamu alaikum.
guest. And, of course, with that, thanks for drinking our toilet wine.
Anytime.
Now that the 5-0's there to get you. Toilet wine!
Just hanging around. Just hanging around. Me? Just hanging around.
Limesy looks at you, and you go, "What are you doing?" And Limesy's just gonna go, "Nothing. Just hanging around."
Who, me? Oh.
Even though it's something I don't particularly enjoy using, I don't know if using is the right word for it. It's definitely not. But
Soap is that old?
Never would have thought, this old, or even have thought about when it would start. When would I ever think? When should I start using that? And I'm not talking about soap. I'm talking
Gabriel Fallopio. So they were
Little
just
bubbly
lakes
cucumber
of
water.
LaCroix.
Lakes of LaCroix.
And trees are green, red roses too. Lakes of LaCroix. And I think to myself,
No 17-year-old's mouth is like that.
Oh yeah, but before you go though, what was
yeah.
the thing you wanted to be when you grow up, Dom? Didn't it rhyme with rave owner? Did you tell me that once? It's 300,000 years. Dinosaurs existed 64 million years ago.
Well, their headphones were actually just, they would plug it into the record player, and just instead of one tube, there were two tubes, one to each ear, and it just played
Nice,
quietly.
it's like a head
But it was
phonograph.
right
My head phonograph.
Head phonograph.
You carry around. Don't touch me. You're gonna fuck up my disc, man.
These are Beats by Bach.
Yeah. Your boy's back. He's back in town. Or 18 blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Pre-sliced bread. They mean bread that came sliced. They're smart ass. You know how I know you're a smart ass? Takes one to know one there, Chief. Love ya, buddy.
Oh, this is an interesting development. Whole deep thing about video games. I'm just trying to get to the point where they go,
John,
let's go,
shut
hey,
the hell
here's
up.
Wii U.
What are you, dumb? Burping. I'm trying to argue about stupid shit right now. Oh, we're having fun.
I can't help it. I can't stop. Some more on condoms that I want to share.
Moron condoms,
Yeah.
also known as pulling out. I see myself out.